Hello, I'm Julian, and I recently joined a large corporation as a secretary. It's a step up from my previous job as a babysitter, where I dealt with numerous challenges, including a memorable incident involving exploding trash bags and soiled diapers. This experience sparked an innovative thought. What if there was a service for exchanging dirty diapers for clean ones, all managed through an app? Excitedly, I developed a complete business plan for Diaper Daddy. Eager to share my idea, I presented it to my boss, expecting enthusiasm. Instead, I was met with dismissal and a harsh reminder of my role as a secretary, not a marketer. Disheartened, I accepted his response. However, the next day, I witnessed something shocking. In a meeting with the CEO, my boss was presenting my Diaper Daddy concept as his own, basking in the CEO's approval while I watched, unrecognized for my creativity. Watching the events unfold was disheartening. My boss, known for his sycophantic tendencies, presented the diaper app idea to the CEO, who was immediately impressed. In no time, a deal worth $10 million was on the table for its development, a deal that rightfully should have been mine. Instead of confronting him about stealing my idea, I chose a more subtle approach. I intentionally misinformed him about the time of a crucial meeting with the app development team, setting it half an hour later than planned. Additionally, it was a colleague's birthday, and I brought in 2 large helium balloons. Just before the rescheduled meeting time, I persuaded my boss to inhale some helium for a bit of fun, knowing well the effect it would have. As the development team arrived earlier than he expected, he was caught off guard with a high-pitched, squeaky voice, much to the amusement of everyone in the room. The CEO's expression turned from interest to shock, and the room erupted in laughter. My boss, in a panic, turned to me for help, but I feigned ignorance, leaving him to flounder with his stolen idea now turned into a source of ridicule. The aftermath of the meeting was as comical as it was chaotic. My boss, red-faced and unable to suppress his laughter, stormed out of the meeting room and headed straight for me. In a fit of fury, he declared I was fired, citing his humiliation as the reason. With a mix of shock and defiance, I packed my belongings in a box and left the office, thinking about the injustice of having my idea stolen and then losing my job. As I was unpacking at home, I found something unexpected in my box, my boss's phone. It must have accidentally ended up there in the rush of clearing my desk. Knowing his passwords, curiosity got the better of me, and I unlocked the phone. To my surprise, the screensaver was a My Little Pony image, an unusual choice for a man his age without children. While exploring his gallery, his phone began to ring. It was a call from Mommy Dearest, his mother. I answered but remained silent, overhearing her demanding tone, instructing him to return home promptly or face being sent to bed without dessert. The revelation that my seemingly stern boss lived under such maternal dominance was both startling and amusing. Compelled by this new insight, I began to browse through his text conversations with his mother, uncovering a side of him I had never imagined, a side that made him seem more like a stranger than the boss I thought I knew. The discovery of my boss's peculiar habits and hidden life continued to unravel in the most unexpected ways. After finding a mysterious album titled Me and My Soulmate in his phone's gallery, which was locked and inaccessible, I felt a mix of curiosity and disbelief. Despite being fired, I showed up at work the next day, determined not to let the dismissal dictate my actions. My return caused a stir, but I relished the attention, enjoying the surprise and confusion on everyone's faces, especially my boss's. I nonchalantly displayed his phone, hinting at the secrets it held, and reclaimed my old seat. To assert my newfound leverage, I playfully demanded a latte and a muffin from my boss, referring to him as Pony Boy, a jab at his hidden fascination. He was visibly flustered but complied, probably fearing I would reveal his secrets to his mother. Holding the latte and muffin felt like a taste of victory, a reversal of roles that was both empowering and amusing. When my boss confronted me, demanding the return of his phone, I met his threats with indifference and a confident smirk, unfazed by his attempts to intimidate me. In a bold move to further assert my upper hand, I even suggested we swap desks. His lack of response was my cue to start moving my belongings to his desk, marking a significant shift in our workplace dynamic. As the dynamics in the office shifted dramatically, I embraced my newfound authority with a mix of humor and boldness. When my boss hesitated to comply with my request to swap desks, I playfully threatened him using the nickname Sweet Potato, which spurred him into action. The tables had turned. I was now in control, playfully assuming the role of Boss Hazel. To further assert my dominance, I sent him on a lavish lunch errand, ordering an extravagant amount of pizzas and donuts. Watching him carry out these tasks was both amusing and empowering. He even offered me the $10 million deal originally meant for him in a desperate attempt to retrieve his phone. But I was enjoying this new role too much to give in just yet. I continued to subtly undermine his efforts, especially regarding the diaper app project. I arranged for Amazon deliveries to interrupt his meetings with the CEO, each one more embarrassing than the last. The pinnacle of this prank came when he opened a package to reveal a pink, sparkly My Little Pony toy, much to the CEO's confusion and my amusement. Throughout this time, I was also attempting to access the locked album on his phone, guessing various passwords without success. Then it dawned on me to use the forgot password function, which led to a security question about his favorite character. Casually, I asked him about his favorite pony, and to my delight, he revealed the answer. This revelation was the key to unlocking not just the phone album, but also a deeper understanding of the man who had once been my boss. The power dynamics had shifted completely, and I reveled in the absurdity and thrill of the situation. As I unlocked the secret album on my boss's phone, I was greeted with an array of photoshopped images that were both surprising and revealing. The photos depicted my boss and our CEO in various whimsical settings, often accompanied by My Little Pony characters. It was clear from these images that my boss harbored deep, unspoken feelings for the CEO. When my boss realized that I had discovered his secret, his reaction was swift and emotional. He quickly gathered his belongings and left the office, his demeanor shifting from embarrassment to visible hurt, even to the point of tears. This unexpected revelation made me reconsider my recent actions. The fun and games of the past few days suddenly felt less amusing and more consequential. Feeling a pang of guilt, I decided to track down his address using his phone. During the taxi ride, I perused the messages between him and the CEO, which confirmed their mutual affection. Arriving at his house, I was let in by his mother and found him in a vulnerable state, curled up on his bed, overwhelmed by emotion. Despite his plea for me to leave, I sat down beside him, prompting an even more intense emotional reaction. It was a stark contrast to the confident, sometimes domineering boss I knew at the office. In this moment, I saw him not as my boss, but as a person with deep feelings and vulnerabilities, profoundly affected by the recent turn of events. My boss confided in me, revealing his long-held love for the CEO, a sentiment he believed was unrequited. In a moment of empathy, I assured him that I had noticed a special connection between them, suggesting that the CEO might indeed have feelings for him. I apologized for my earlier antics, but he seemed consumed by his unfulfilled love, believing that nothing else mattered if he couldn't be with the CEO. Before leaving, I took a chance and sent a text to the CEO from my boss's phone, inviting him for a celebratory drink over the recent business deal. I left the phone by his bed and departed, unsure of what would unfold. Later, I waited outside the bar, curious to see the outcome. To my relief and joy, I saw them meet, and their interaction was filled with happiness and effortless conversation. It was clear that there was a genuine connection between them. The following day at work, my boss credited me for the idea of the meeting, which led to an unexpected promotion for me. As for the CEO and my boss, they began dating secretly. It became evident that my boss had originally taken my idea to impress the CEO, a move that now seemed trivial compared to the unfolding romance. In a gesture of goodwill, I bought my boss a limited edition Princess Twilight sparkle figure as an apology for my earlier behavior. This small act of kindness helped mend our relationship, and we gradually became good friends. Looking back, the series of events led not only to professional growth for me but also played a part in bringing two people together, something far more significant and rewarding.